Hi everyone, it's Miss Champagne. Okay, today I am teaching from my workbook called How to Transition from Your Current Job to Your Teaching Job. And this is the corresponding workbook to my other book that is simply called Transition from Your Current Job to Your Teaching Job. All right, now I am teaching from Chapter 8, and after Chapter 8 is called Day of the Interview. So you emailed your things off, you've talked to the receptionist, and you finally got the interview. Congratulations. Yay! Okay, now we're going to talk about what you do before you actually have your interview. All right, so I have some more questions. Question number 1, what do you do to prepare for your interview the day before? What do you do to prepare on the day? Now, what I like to do on the day before the interview, or even maybe 2 or 3 days, or even a week, because I'm a little bit obsessive, I like to have all my documents printed. I like to have everything, in the order that I would need. I make sure my suit is ready. Everything I need for that day, I play it out in my head, and then I'll get ready. Like even a week before, because I'm just very obsessive. If you're not obsessive like me, I hope you're not, you can do that the day before, maybe in 2 days before you have your interview. Okay, now on the day of the interview, what I like to do, I like to make sure, once again, I recheck, make sure I have everything. The night before, I like to re-email I want to re-email my CV and my cover letter, and I also like to re-email like the confirmation, like I'll see you tomorrow at this time. Okay. All right, now, number 2, what time does your interview start? So, for example, when I had went to Ghana on my second African Ghana business trip, I speak about it in this book, 3 Business Strategies to Get Contracts and Make Profits in Africa. You go, you do, you're done. All right, so when I went to do an interview at one of the hotels, I believe, I can't really remember right now because I've just written like 20 books, so... Anyways, I believe my appointment was for maybe 12, but I got there at 10, which is a little bit early. Actually, it's a lot of bit early. And the reason I got there so early is because there's heavy traffic in Ghana, and 12 o'clock is like peak time. So I wanted to make sure there was no excuses for me being late. I am not a late person at all. In fact, I try to show up an hour early to whatever appointment I have, okay, just in case there's a problem. So you should get there early. I understand it in Africa, like there's people, like not even you, but the person who maybe is interviewing you will be late. That's okay for them. They're the one with the power. You are trying to get in the door, so you have no excuses to be late. No one cares if your car broke down, or if there was traffic, or if whatever. You need to get there 2 hours ahead of time, which probably means you need to leave your house. Let's say if you're in Accra, and this is in Ghana, if your appointment's at 12, I would suggest get there by 10, which probably means you need to leave at 8. And I know that's a little bit excessive, but hey, do you want the job or not? Okay? All right, now, number 3, did you re-email your interview documents, okay? And also, you also might want to bring a print copy of your documents with you. In this book again, 3 Business Strategies to Get Profits and Make, 3 Business Strategies to Get Contracts and Make Profits in Africa. You go, you do, you're done. Sorry, I forgot the title of that book. I've just written like 20 books, so it's hard for me to keep the titles in order. I talk about that when I went to the hotel I was speaking about a few moments ago. I said, listen, I don't have access to a printer, which is totally my fault. I said, but do you have a printer? And if you do, is it working, and can you print on site? He said, yes. I get there, the printer's not working. So then he had to send one of his workers to go and get the copies. And I talk about this in another video, so I'm not gonna go off on a tangent. My point is, it took her 40 minutes to do a 10-minute walk. And I have to take, I have to be responsible for that, because I should have made sure that there were enough copies available for his staff. When I was in Rwanda, I was in Rwanda right before I went to Ghana. I had got copies made there, but I didn't have enough. So I should have been thinking, listen, I don't know what they have there. I don't know if they have copiers or whatever, but I should have made enough copies in Rwanda and then brought it with me. Anyways, you need to be prepared. Please don't be like me and ask to get it copied there. They may not have a copy available. Okay? All right, now, Let's see, more questions. What questions will your potential employer ask you? Okay, so they might ask you something like this. Could you tell me a little bit more about yourself? Where did you graduate from? What were you doing before? How did you come to find this job? Why do you want to work with? Okay, why do you want to work here? And what are some questions you can ask the recruiter? So, for example, I like to ask the recruiters, like, how long have you worked here? How did you come to get this job? And what is the turnover at this school? Okay. Now, also be mindful of your mannerisms in the interview. Now, remember, this is more towards my American counterparts. So, guys, remember, I know that we're very flamboyant and we like to talk with gestures, but you need to, once again, tone it down, okay? If you're going to, on an interview in Africa or Asia, you probably just need to keep your hands in your lap. You need to relax, you need to breathe, you need to take it easy, and you need to mimic the mannerisms of the person who is interviewing you. So for those of us who live in Japan, many of us are teachers here, we're so used to dealing with Japanese people that we start to mimic them during business meetings. So I also have the same type of mannerisms that a Japanese person have doing business, which works perfect on the African market. So once again, be mindful of your mannerisms. Okay, and what are some things that you should avoid doing during the interview? You might want to avoid not looking at your phone. You might want to avoid interrupting the interviewer. You might want to avoid making jokes. I know Americans, we like to joke a lot, but on the Asian and African market, they don't really appreciate that so much unless they start joking. Okay, so anyways, today we talked about chapter 8, and this is the day of the interview. And if you guys have any questions, please inbox me. All right, I'll see you again. Bye.